So I got up at 4:30 a.m. to look for tarpon, right? I figured they got to be here by now. And nothing. I kayaked around for 8 hours looking for these tarpon, and they were nowhere to be seen. And if they were there, I would have seen them. There was huge bait pods all over the place that was attracting, all kinds of species of fish, but no tarpon. Also, I didn't see any tarpon guys out there. Now that doesn't mean that they're not here. The tarpon might be here, but they might be coming to a different place. But this area is the closest area that I know where you catch tarpon, and I don't feel like driving farther. This area is like a 45-minute drive, and I don't feel like driving farther, or at least not yet. I mean, in the future, maybe. But right now, I want to just wait for them to come to this area. This is the area I know, and it's just a waiting game at this point. So what I ended up doing, because not catching anything, just looking around for tarpon is not satisfactory, and there's really nothing else to catch in that area except for sharks, and all I had was blue crabs. So you're not going to catch sharks and blue crabs. So I wanted to have another lazy Sunday there at that other fishing spot from the shoreline, to catch a nice fish, whether it be a redfish or a black drum or sheep's head or, whatever might be there. And this would be like the third time me showing up to this area to actual fish. I've been there other times looking around for bait, kind of just studying and feeling the area out. But this is the third time me going there to do some fishing, like real fishing. And I made plans with my wife to do some things, and I was pretty confident that I could catch a fish, a nice fish, like 15, 20-pound fish, in less than an hour. So I told my wife, don't let me fish more than an hour, because we got plans, we got things we want to do. So don't let me fish more than an hour. And she says, okay, let's see if you can do it. So we show up there, and of course the whole bank is just covered with line wetters. Those are people that just sit on the bank or the shoreline, and they're just wetting their lines. They're not actually fishing. They're just wetting their lines. You always know when you're talking to a line wetter, because the only thing that they catch is like catfish and a stingray or a little tiny starving shark or something. It's like, oh, one time I did catch a redfish last month. That's a line wetter. That's just a guy that just shows up with some fishing gear and some line and some kind of bait, and he just throws in the water and hopes something bites. He doesn't come there with a plan, and he doesn't study the area. He doesn't try to figure things out. He's just, waiting for luck to come by and help him get a fish. So that's not what I do. I go there with a plan. I go there with the intent to catch fish, and that's what I do. And it's not that you cannot catch fish there, just sitting on the surf or whatever, but you can, but you have to go there at the right time. If all those line wetters would have showed up there around 5:30 a.m., yeah, they would have caught a 15, 20-pound fish without even getting their feet wet. They wouldn't have to go anywhere. They were just right there sitting on their cooler. But this was mid-afternoon, and they were all just lying around sitting on their cooler. They're not even looking at the water. They're just like holding their fishing pole, and they're just drinking whatever they're drinking. And there's line wetters, man. You always know when there's line wetters around. So right there with my wife, right there where I know the closest area on land I can get to the oyster bed where the fish actually are, there was a bunch of line wetters, and they all heard my conversation. My wife, give me 1 hour, baby. I'm sure I can catch a nice fish in less than an hour, but don't let me go over an hour. So she was timing me and everything. So I started going out there, and with some blue crabs, cut blue crabs that I kept alive overnight in my truck in the live well. The first 2 times I went out there, they took the bait, but the third time I got hooked up on a nice fish, and it was a 10-minute battle, and I brought them in, showed my wife, and of course all those line wetters, they were acting like nothing was going on. They're kind of like looking the other way, and they might peek a little. They're like, they're just doing that shit. It was fucking hilarious. Because you can tell they're just all sitting there for hours trying to catch something. So, yeah, don't be a line waiter, man. Be a real guy. And just because you're not catching fish, that doesn't mean you're not a real guy. Like I think actually the first time I went there, there was another guy there who was fishing, and he was fishing pretty hard, and he wasn't catching shit. And he came over to talk to me after a couple hours and asked me how I was doing. And I told him, hell yeah, man, I caught 3 redfish, a trout, and a small shark. It's like, damn, man. Last time I came here, I was catching all kinds of fish, but today it's just nothing. And then he asked me, so what kind of bait are you using? It's a real guy right there. So this is a guy that knew where the fish were. You're not going to catch them sitting at the bank. He knew that. He knew that they all went into the oyster bed during the midday hours, and he ventured out there, and the water was still cold then. Like, it was 50 degrees. I couldn't have done what he was doing. I had the wetsuit on. He just had a swimsuit, no short, no shirt. He was up in his armpits in that cold-ass fucking water trying to get to that oyster bed because he knew that's where the damn fish were. It's a real guy right there. The only thing he was doing wrong was the bait situation. And I did it too. Because the second time I showed up at that area, I showed up with swim baits. I showed up with finger mullet thinking, I'm going to hook up just like last time. Blue crab, it's nothing but crab eaters there. So, you got to come there. If you know an area is productive, you got to come to that area with multiple baits. Multiple swim baits and crabs. Even artificial guys. They don't come there with one artificial. They come with a whole fucking box. So anyway, man, don't be a line waiter. Here's the video.
You catch a big one? Oh my God, it's a big one. That's a big fish. Look at that.
Bit the hell out of me. That's how you do the panhandle. Right there.